following is a UTV 44 sports production. Friday Night Rivals. This is the UA Early College UTV 44 Game of the Week. Presented by the Mobile and Baldwin County Sheriff's Offices and the Drug Education Council.
1 year ago, it was the game of the year in 6A with Spanish Fort beating Blount 41-38 on a way to a perfect season and state championship. And tonight on paper, it looks like we could be in for a very similar matchup as the Toros come in ranked number 1 in the state. The Leopards come in ranked number 3. Good evening from Leopard Stadium. I'm Jim Cox. My partners Dan Brennan and Vic Lockett here tonight. Dan, I think right off the bat, need to find out how does this Blount Leopard team, who was ranked number 1 last week, lost to McGill, how do they respond to their first dose of adversity in 2016?
Well, you guys were here and I was not, but they talk about, coaches like to say our team is resilient. This is when we find out if this team is resilient, right?
No doubt about it. You know, you got to come back if you're going to play and be playing deep in the playoffs.
Toros, of course, they are winners of 4 state championships, and they're just a team it's been so dominant here at this level. And I think Ben Blackman wants to see him come out and just play Toro football, starting with their quarterback.
Yeah, and I love this guy. Logan Morgan, really, they like him better at flanker and returning kicks and in the slot and doing anything. And he can do everything. He's shifty. He's competitive. They can put him anywhere. Now, what happens when he is at quarterback like he is tonight because of some injuries? But again, he's very capable. But then it shreds down a little bit to their wide receiver, capabilities. But number 4 is somebody that Blount, he just embarrassed Daphne the last time we saw them play. This kid is a really good athlete, a very competitive guy, and he's somebody that Blount's going to have to game plan against.
Yeah, I think the compete level is off the charts. That's what most coaches talk about when they talk about Logan Morgan and all that he can do. Another kid we really love to see compete on the other side of the football for the Blount Leopards, safety Jacoby Davis, a big kid who can really make things happen for them.
And that's the exact thing that got my attention with this kid. 6'3", 170. He's just a junior, and his coaches really love him, and they talk about, he's got the potential to go on to get some SEC offers. He's a leader on the field, and as a safety, you got to be the leader. And going against a quarterback like you described there earlier, Dan, he's going to have to come up there and fill those holes and make sure he secure the edges if he happens to get loose. And, of course, they can pass the ball. He's playing Spanish Fort, so he's going to have to look for those balls in there and rotate to them.
It's going to be a great matchup here tonight. Most likely a region championship on the line. The only losses these teams have had this year at the hands of McGill. Week 1 for Spanish Fort and just last week for Blount. Stick around. The kickoff comes up right after this. The Leopards and the Toros live here in 8 Mile from Leopard Stadium. Fish frying tonight here for our Game of the Week. 2 unbeaten teams in Region 1 in 6A, and they'll match up here tonight. Blount and Spanish Fort, and a high kick from Matthew Quinn. He'll send it back. Frederick Bush to take it for the Leopards. Out to the 22-yard line. The Blount offense will come out. And, of course, led by Kadarius Toney. And he is someone that is going to have a big game here tonight. And it's be interesting to see what we see out of Toney tonight here, Tara.
Who is more productive when Spanish Fort has the ball and
So Toney, they're going to pitch it right back to him. His Pugh goes right back, and Toney wants to go up top to start the game on the far sidelines, and the Baron Jones has got it. Touchdown, Leopards. No flags. 77 yards. And if Vic Lockett were that guy in the booth, Dan Brennan, he'd say, I told you so, wouldn't he?
Yeah, Vic Lockett take it from here.
Let me tell you, hey, their offensive coordinator, he's never lied to me. Every week he says he's going to put it up deep, first play of the game. If he's not successful the second play, he's going to do it again. Right there, he lived up to his word again.
Tyreek Graham had pretty good coverage back there on the Baron Jones, who's
step for step
got his 6th touchdown. Last week, 97. This week, 77 to start it off.
This side of the field, Collins Woods actually was more open.
Yeah, the play went that way, and that's what he did.
Alvarado Amaya puts it up, and it is good. And Blount, just 21 seconds into the game, they have the lead 7-0. And we were wondering how they're going to come out, and especially Kadarius Toney, how he was going to bounce back. Well, there's a pretty good indication, huh, Tara?
Yes, you're right, Jim. You know, this game is going to be decided on who's more productive when Blount has the ball and Spanish Fort is on defense. Leopard's quarterback and Florida commit Kadarius Toney is a dual threat quarterback in its truest form. But last week, McGill was able to shut down Toney, who's ultimately the key to Blount's offense. So I spoke with Kadarius before the game about how he plans to overcome a physical Toros front seven. He said all week at practice, he had been working on finding a way to win against the blitz. And he's trusting his O-line to give him a little protection up front. I think they're starting off right. What do you guys think?
What a start.
Not only was he the key, he was the lock for the play.
Man, I tell you, he is something to behold. Not a great week last week, but this is a team game. You can't throw it all at the feet of Toney from last week against McGill.
Yeah, we were wondering if they were going to be able to put that away, put that in the pass. And I think, judging from the first play, they've done it.
And now Spanish Fort, this defense, you know, they don't give up a lot of points. Only 17 points in the last 4 weeks. They've only given up 41 on the year coming in tonight, 24 of those against McGill. So averaging 8 points a game, and they give up the big play to start it here tonight.
There can be kind of a gap between the talent level of some of the teams you play, and that's not something that everybody addresses all the time.
Kicking team, that's a 5-yard penalty and re-kick.
Do a re-kick here, but in any event, not a re-kick, but it just
got a penalty, some type of procedure. I don't know how.
Oh, they will re-kick. Okay.
And they're going to back them up and kick it.
But the point is, they're playing Blount tonight, and this is the closest thing that they've had, the closest experience to that first game against McGill.
Right.
But they're just going to have some matchup troubles on the outside, and who can really hem in Toney? Even a great front seven like them. Going to be tough.
Alvarado Ameo kicks off straight to the 15. Cutting up the near side, and some room now out across the 40. Jamal Vines to the 46-yard line. He's been getting more and more playing time as the season has gone on here for the Spanish Fort Toros. And he returns it to give the Toros good field position up to the 47-yard line to open things up. There's Ben Blackman. That's pretty good. Yeah. 24-1, his only loss to open the season against McGill. Of course, went undefeated last year. Spanish Fort, the only team in any classification to go undefeated. They went 15-0 last year.
And for such a young guy, he's been a head coach a pretty long time.
Yep. Greenville, Gulf Shores. He's from a coaching family. Logan Morgan with the give, and Holden Wilson gets it up near midfield. In the Spanish Fort, you think about the Toros over the years, and of course Tyler Johnston was such a big part of it. Offense, offense, offense. They've got 4 passing touchdowns, 4 rushing touchdowns, only 8 passing touchdowns this year. Just have not put a lot of points up offensively. Betts, Whaley, Murphy, Turberville, and Freeman up front, providing some protection. They got Barry back on the outside, and now Logan Morgan rolling out, sets his feet and tries to go to Barry up at the 40, and it's incomplete. You see the athleticism out of Logan Morgan rolling out there and then gets set to try to compete.
Almost impossible to overthrow Barry. I don't know if he did or not. Maybe Barry should have come down with that one, but Morgan got it to him.
Cortland Martin, the freshman. Watch number 11, Law, Griggs, and Madison, the Tuskegee commitment just 2 weeks ago. Then Keelan Kennedy, a linebacker of Blount linebackers, their leading tackler in the secondary. Kelsey Hill's got a couple of interceptions on the year, but Cortland Williams, the safety, has 3 as well. And Jacoby Davis, Blount safety, was highlighted by Vic in the pregame show, and Martin chases after there, and this one heaved up and caught. Barry able to make the catch at the 33-yard line. Logan Morgan was able to get away from the pressure of Cortland Martin and heaves it up, and Barry able to come up with a catch.
You would think that for Barry it'd be easier to go high for a catch since he's 6'5", and actually look what he does right here.
Well, I think it went through his hand, and the guy behind him actually catches it.
Yeah, I don't think
off the ground.
I don't think it was the intended receiver. I don't think he was trying to go.
Yeah, he just kind of scraped it there off the top of the blades of the grass. And,
but for a big guy,
good place.
Big guy to go that low is my point.
Okay. I thought you were saying high. I got you.
Yeah, the one before that was high, which seems to be where you want to throw it for him.
Injured Leopard down on the field. Marcus Wiggins.
See what happened to him. Prayerfully, nothing too serious.
Good catch.
Going deep to try to make the tackle, and he came down awkwardly.
And they'll bring both teams to the respective sidelines.
Great sportsmanship by both teams, taking a knee while the injured is being tended to.
Wiggins, another one of those big defensive backs for Blount, a senior, will play some wide receiver for him as well.
And this may be the only thing that will silence the Blount band.
And something else, Vic, with the great start the Blount crowd was able to get into this game. Last week, they never had a chance to get into this game after the one big play they had in the first quarter.
Yeah, they were silenced throughout the night, but they are extremely excited. In fact, turning around to us and screaming.
Yeah, making sure that we know they're excited.
Exactly.
Which we did. It looked like kind of a benign play, like, but he must have come down or awkwardly, like you said, Vic, and it just didn't look like there was much to the play, but he seemed to be in some pain.
Yeah, he's moving around a little bit, but prayerfully they get this resolved, and he's A-OK, get some Powerade and get back in the game.
When you think about what Spanish Fort has done in the last, gee whiz, 7-8 years, pretty amazing.
New kids on the block.
Yeah. Quickly establishing themselves as the bully.
I was about to say, they showed up and they beat the bully and assumed their dominance.
Yeah, they became the bully.
Yeah, exactly.
We see Wiggins up to his feet. Oh, that's a good sign.
Yeah.
That's a real good sign.
You know, on that point, Blount has been around since 1957. They have 5 state championships. Spanish Fort Toros have 4 state championships since they started their school.
Wow. What, they've been here since 2007?
Yeah, I mean, it's just an unbelievable start that they have had. I mean, since 2010, the regular season, they've gone 82-10 after the first 2 years when they were like a new school, you know, and that's exactly what they were.
Yep. I didn't realize Blount gone that far back. That's a deeper history than I realized.
Oh, yeah. They have been around a while. A few 60 and 70-year-olds graduated.
All right, so first down for the Toros. Morgan out to the far side and dropped. Jalen Strong, the leading receiver, 22 catches on the year, 3 touchdowns. Morgan, 9 of 15, 155 yards. Coming into this game, again, Spanish Fort was off last week. They've kind of settled in Logan Morgan being their quarterback. We probably will see Rhett Files some at quarterback here tonight. But Logan Morgan can expect to get the lion's share out of the snaps on 2nd and 10. Wilson in motion. Vines in the backfield. They'll hand it off to him. And Adrian Law was in there. Lorenzo Griggs.
Well, you don't want to be in this spot against any defense, and you definitely don't want to be in this spot against this Blount defense because they can really just run at you real quick and kind of nullify what Logan Morgan does because they know it's pretty much a throwing down now.
And that's some money down to those guys. And, you know, you put that football in there, they assuming it's yours, those purple hats.
Kendrick Lindsey in
or
there.
Or theirs, I should say.
Yep.
On the stop for the Leopards. 3rd and 10. Morgan steps into the pocket, looks to the right side, fires, and dropped again. That's 2 drops for Jalen Wayne.
A little bit of lack of concentration. The first one I kind of chalked up to the break during the injury, but now it's continuing. So that's something we need to keep an eye on. See what their focus is in the football game.
4th and 10 from the 32. Ben Blackman. So the play clock's down to 10. 5 and 4, and they will get it off. They fake. Morgan under pressure. He's going to be hit and dropped. Explosive on the edge and nowhere to go. And again, that's Kendricks Lindsey in on the tackle for the Leopards. 210-pound junior coming up to make the stop.
You know, that you say they're at the 32, so why punt it? But I was thinking to myself, they know you're going to throw it. You may not end up at the 32, and in fact, they didn't. They lost 5 more back to the 37.
There's Lev Holly. A great start to his tenure here with the Blount Leopards. Lost in the second round of the playoffs last year. Robert Vaught for the Toros in from the edge, able to make the stop, and we get a flag at the end of that. We had a helmet come off of, it might have been Colt Steiner who lost his helmet there. Take a look.
He's probably going to flag him for continuing without a helmet. No.
Against the Leopards.
They got some tough hombres on that Spanish Fort front 7. I mean, they're about as good as you're going to see.
Lev Holly said in the pregame show, he said, besides McGill, he said, this is going to be the best front 7 we see in the state, and it's probably the best front 7 in the state.
Wow. During the play, personal foul, illegal hands to the face, number 70, that's a 15-yard penalty, replay first down.
Robert Lacey, the right tackle, guilty of the infraction. It'll make it 1st and 25.
He's a pretty good player, too. Last week, he stood out to me making a few blocks. He will go through the whistle.
6'3", 295. He's going to stand out a lot, Big Pocket.
For sure.
You can see him on the right side of your screen there, the right tackle.
Field sort of leaning on this side.
3 receivers to this side of the field for the Leopards. They're on top 7-0. Tony pulls it down, tries to scramble to the middle of the field, and he'll dive out across the 30. He looked to the left, but there was no receiver out there. And
yeah, he must have been confused. It looked like they were trying to set the screen up to the right.
Flott, the 2 Lacey's, Bush and Hunt up front for the Blount Leopards. The wide receivers, they've got some talented ones. We saw LeBaron Jones go up and make the big catch. Collins Woods, the junior, also very talented. And they give it to Trajan Pugh, and Pugh, their leading rusher, with 428 yards coming into this one. Gets stopped, and now it's 3rd and a long way coming up here for the Leopards. The Spanish Fort defense, Vaught, who just made the stop, Miller and Thomas. Of course, Thomas going to LSU. Myers, Thomas Johnson, everything at linebacker. Colt Steiner, Sam Goodwin having a great year. 6 tackles for loss. DJ James has got 4 interceptions, and 3 of those he's taken back for touchdowns this year. Now Kadarius Toney on 3rd down. Scrambles out to the right side, tipped up in the air. The ball still in the air as Vaught couldn't get there, and that was Goodwin, who we just talked about at linebacker, getting the arms up to make the play there.
And if you're not going to get the sack, go ahead and get your hands up, and that can be the result. And you could nullify a good pickup by an offense by sticking your hands up, knocking the ball down.
Well, whatever Blount wanted to do, it kind of got pushed to the side by the 15-yard marker to start off the drive.
Cass will punt from the 15. Tyreek Graham staying back at the 40, a high wobbly snap. Cass with a good kick. Graham drops it at the 35. Ball still loose on the ground, and I think the Leopards have it at the 30.
You know, we were talking before the game, Jim, and that's exactly the area of the game where Spanish Fort's got to do better, because this is where they need to steal it down, steal a possession in the kicking game. And it actually works against them right there.
We talked about the lack of concentration earlier. It's still setting in the cloud over the Spanish Fort, so maybe a little something to it.
Ben Blackman told Tara at the pregame show, said special teams is what this game really could come down to. We have got to win the special teams battle.
Yep.
And a miscue there. And now the Leopards in business at the 30. Tony rolls out to the right, now pulls it down, splits 2 defenders and makes a move at the 30, another one at the 20, and he's down to the 15 for a gain of 15.
Now that's how slick and smooth he is, that he makes an announcer laugh, and that's the first time I've ever seen Jim get caught like that.
Go Build Alabama first down. Watch this one right. It's this move right there that's just unfair. You get a look at Kadarius's Sox, we'll talk about them a little bit later. And now they'll move Kadarius. He's out to wide receiver, and Cameron Burrows at quarterback. And now they'll flip it back to Kadarius. And he's trying to go to the far side. And now back at the middle of the field. And a long stride inside the 15 and inside the 10.
Guy never gives up on a play, does he?
And he's just so much poised, never rattled with defenders all around him.
No, he made a good move right there, realizing he didn't think he was going to get the edge. They had it defended pretty well, but he's got such ability to make people miss in a small space, and he took advantage of that.
And that's the thing he's going to have to do, because Spanish Fort is going to be where they're supposed to be when they're supposed to be there.
Trajan Pugh to the right side. There's a hole, and he lunges in, and he's got the touchdown. 6th touchdown of the season for Trajan Pugh. And the special teams miscue results in a quick touchdown drive for the Leopards. And we talked in the pregame, Blount going to have to see how they respond to some adversity. Now Spanish Fort's got some adversity they're going to have to deal with here in the first quarter.
He's a good back. You know, a couple of weeks ago, he had 200 yards rushing, so he can do it.
Great effort with a nose there to get to the goal line as well. They direct snap it to Cameron Burrows, and he fires wide open into the end zone for 2 points as he's able to hit LeBaron Jones.
And we talked about it last week. If you don't line up correctly on that water bucket, then the team is just going to go with a play. And that right there, Spanish Fort, shockingly, is not lined up correct.
15-0, the Leopards on top. What a start for the home team here tonight. They lead by 2 scores early on. Trajan Pugh with the latest one for Blount. Now the Blount Leopards with a start that Vic talked about. The band would be involved all night, and they certainly are. Lev Holly expected his team to come out focused tonight after the loss last week, coming out flat against McGill, and this one will bounce in the middle of the field and picked up at the 20. And this is Jamal Vines again, trying to turn the corner. No correct out. That's going to be Jalen Wayne, and Wayne out across the 40, and he is into Blount Leopard territory.
Jalen's got some speed to run there.
Need Wayne to had a couple of drops early here in the first quarter. Going to need him to help out his quarterback a little bit, make some of those catches. And now the Spanish Fort Toros, as I said, you know, just 149 yards a game through the air, 141 on the ground. 4 rushing touchdowns is all they have this season. Coming into tonight's game, 8 passing touchdowns, and that's just, you're used to seeing more gaudy numbers out of a Toro team.
But Tyler Johnson,
that helps.
Yeah, I mean, he could get you 4 touchdowns in the game on the ground.
Morgan pitches it back off. Trey Berry now. He's played some quarterback in his past and fires that one up, and it's picked off. Fired that way, and Cortland Williams with the pick. And Williams comes out near the 40-yard line.
The receiver was open just for a hair, but I tell you what, that closing speed, that safety there, he just got there.
4th interception of the year for Cortland Williams, another big player in the secondary, 6'1", 190, and Barry kind of floated this one a little bit. And wow, about the hand placement up there.
All ball, right?
Pulls it down and then kind of slipped there.
Just suck it in.
You know, I think the play calling just tips you off a little bit about what Spanish Fort thinks about trying to make some plays against this defense.
Yeah, I agree.
A lot of gadgets.
You got to trick them.
At the 40, Pugh gets it out. Cameron Burrows, and Burrows up the near sideline, and he may be gone, but he steps out of bounds.
Saved by the sideline. Spanish Fort.
And there's a flag up at the 41. Oh, I think Lacey might be out of the game. The big right tackle. If this is going to be another personal foul, I think he's out of the game.
No, I see him coming to the sideline.
Just a holding call. Okay, oh, that's better. But he was, because the official pointed him to the sideline. Yeah, the official sent him to the sideline, so that's why I was
During
worried.
the play, holding on the offense. That's a 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Replay first down.
Lacey's second penalty here of the half, and it wipes out the game, but it's up to the 43, and from the spot of the foul will be the odd 1st and 6. And the inside give. Trajan Pugh gets driven back, and then Kadarius Toney gets thrown down, and a flag in there as well. Now, this is going to be a curious call if they call roughing the passer, because Toney was carrying out the ball fake.
Yeah, no, he's not a passer anyway. He's a runner at that point.
Personal foul against the Toros.
I don't know if it's because of the way they took down the fake runner,
the quarterback.
Yeah,
everybody goes down.
Well, I hope he's not calling him on that, because he does not know whether Kadarius has the ball or not.
Well, that's my point. I don't think I still know who had the ball. But
and you're watching. Imagine playing.
They gang tackle both of them.
And that's what you're taught to do. I mean, if you don't, you got to take them to the ground until you know different, till the whistle blows.
Yeah. That would have been. That had to be the call. Wow, that's a tough one. Not, Kadarius is so slippery. You can't tell sometimes when he has the ball or is given the ball.
Yeah, with him, you better tackle him on the second whistle.
All right, we'll take a timeout here. Blount on top, 15-0. We'll come back, and the Leopards driving there on the Spanish Fort side of the 50 already. Early on here in the first again. Jim Cox, Dan Brennan, Vic Locketer, Reeves on the sideline, Jared Kihas, and our entire crew here bringing you tonight's game from Leopard Stadium. First down for Blount. 5.5 to go here in the opening quarter, and the Leopards driving again. Kadarius Toney gives it off Trajan Pugh. And Pugh fights ahead to the 45-yard line. And let's go down to Tara. She's on the sideline. She'll give us an injury update. Tara.
Thanks, Jim. As the trainer was checking out Marcus Wiggins on the field, his team had taken a knee on the sideline and was saying a prayer for their teammate. Then as Wiggins was walking off the field, holding his right hand and pointing to his fingers, it appears that one of them might be jammed. The trainer is taping him up. He is expected to return.
He's a fine young man. Our Scholastic athlete last week in the games. We'll get a procedure penalty here.
False start. Offense. That's a 5-yard penalty. Replay, second down.
Now to look at him, it doesn't look like a guy who's ready to return to the game anytime soon.
Yeah, hopefully he's going to be okay. And had his mom and dad on last week talking about what a fine young man he is in the classroom and a leader he is on this football team. 2nd and 12. Toney with all kinds of time over the middle of the field, and he's got it complete up to the 32-yard line, and that's Cameron Burrows with the catch.
Nice hands there. I mean, the ball was behind him. He slipped down and still caught it cleanly with his hands. That's what coaches like to see. Don't let it get to your body. All ball.
Great concentration.
Great catch.
Burrows, he could be starting at quarterback for a lot of teams in the area. Toney gives it up. They bring in Joshua Brown, who's more of the banger back. And he was met there by, speaking of bangers, Thomas Johnston being able to make the tackle. There's Kadarius going to Florida. 10-19 for 165 yards last week, but 97 of them on the one long touchdown pass. The McGill defense really did a number to contain him and shut him down. And Toney gives it back off, and Brown up to the 26-yard line and running downhill to come and grab him from the backside again was Thomas Johnston.
Yeah, he just sits back there and just dissects the play, and then he goes and makes the tackle.
Averaging 12 tackles a game coming in tonight's game.
It's going to be a nice pickup for somebody on the next level.
12 tackles a game, and you know teams are scheming to run away from him.
Yeah.
Try to get where he's not.
They might as well go to the sideline. He's going to find him.
Yeah, he is.
3rd and 4. Toney on the straight keeper tries to squirt on the left side and now comes through the middle of the field, and he's going to have the first down to the 15. Talked about it with Ben Blackman in the pregame show, Vic, and he said, one of the challenges is when you're preparing Blount, you can't simulate this in practice.
No, that guy's there one of a kind. He almost runs the ref over there to take a look.
Let's slow them down a little bit.
Exactly.
From the 15, fresh set of downs. LeBaron Jones in motion, and they give it to him, and he's trying to get around the left edge and stutter steps and now cuts it back to the right, and he's inside the 10 and down near the 5-yard line. But there's a flag way at the far side right before he turned it inside.
Yeah, I was going to say, nice job by Cameron Burrows out there, not having the football in his hand, blocking for his mate, causing some interference.
Block in the back against the Leopards.
I don't think it was Cameron because he was face up to his guy.
Baron Jones, a junior. One of those great receivers the Leopards have again this year.
During the run, illegal block in the back on the offense. That's a 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Replay first down.
All the great receivers they had last year, and many of which they lost, it's like they farmed them out here. Now that once moved out here out into the rural country.
Yeah, just take them out the incubator and, hey, it's your turn.
Really, really good players.
Trajan Pugh with a handoff, and Sam Goodwin to make the tackle at the 20.
Nice misdirection there, but to no avail against this Spanish Fort defense. They're going to be where they're supposed to be when they're supposed to.
Goodwin is a good example of that, Vic. He's kind of waited his turn to finally get up there at a linebacker spot, and he's done a really good job this year as a senior.
Tony Stonecker, the defensive coordinator for the Toros, does such a great job and has up on the hill. Baron Jones in motion. Tony steps up, now bounces back, still looking. Chase coming and finally just flips it out to LeBaron Jones in the left flat. Jones hit at the 10 and falls down. He's been close to a first down at the 5.
Tell you what, Barron was open for about 10 minutes, and the Bears went to his 20th option and say, all right, I'm going to let you have it.
Yeah, he wanted something right down the middle of the field. He was looking for something right to the post. And you just watch the effort, the second, third effort by these Blount Leopards.
Destin Myers is trying to chase him down, and Tony is just leisurely floating out to the left. Now go to the right. He'll cut it in the middle of the field and make some move, and there's another flag at the 7. He would have had the first down, but let's see what this flag is. Pre-snap penalty. Third and 6. Coming up here for Blount. Boy, they've had the football almost the entire.
The offense only had 6 men on the line of scrimmage. That's a 5-yard penalty from the previous spot and replay first down.
You know, a team this good, if they can just clean up those things, Vic, as they get further, down the line and into the playoffs, they've got a chance to just really scare people like Halloween.
Coach Holly mentioned that in the pregame.
Tony wrapped up this time, nowhere to go. Destin Myers, the first one in there. Thomas Johnston, of course, ended up around the football as well. And Chase White there. Hey, thinking back a year ago, the game that was so great, it was 21-7 at the end of the first quarter. Spanish Fort with a big lead at that game. And then kind of Blount kept chipping away, and Blount was down 15 in the fourth quarter before they came back to tie it up with 4 minutes to go. So a lot of football left here in this one. And Alvarado Amaya will try a 31-yard field goal.
I don't know what's up with these kickers and wearing 99, Dan.
Samuel Wilson will hold.
If he makes this one, Red doesn't care.
Flag beforehand. They got the playoff. Maybe a timeout. Timeout called for Blount, but there was a flag. They must have got the timeout before the flag was thrown. Yeah, it looked like Lev got it on the near side.
Yeah, I think the flag might have been toward the clock.
There's still 2 on the clock.
There's 2, okay.
Yeah, they're going to wave it off. I think Lev saw something was not going to be, was going to draw the flag, so he got the timeout, the near official, before he was able to communicate it to the referee.
Got it.
You don't think he's going to rethink kicking it, do you, Dan?
I don't. You know, I think he just wants to get him lined up right. And if he thinks he can make it, he'll go ahead and let him kick it again. I think Jim's right. He saw something that was going to be an obvious penalty with the way they were lined up and wanted to avoid that, so he turned the timeout to give his kicker another chance.
Sure. Not have to kick it farther back.
The third meeting between these two schools all time. 2014, 21-14. Spanish Fort won in overtime.
We were here.
Yep. And then last year, the great game, the 41-38 game. We'll talk about that one more throughout the evening. But that was just one of the greatest games we've seen in 16 years of doing high school football, Dan Brennan.
And especially when you consider what it all meant and how really great both teams were.
16 years, huh, Jim?
16 years.
You're getting old, bro.
Thank you. Appreciate that breaking news. A 31-yard attempt. And does it have enough leg? It does. Just enough. But it's enough to make it 18-0. Edwin Alvarado Amaya with the kick for the Leopards. And after that 2-point conversion, it's now an 18-0 lead in favor of Blount early on here in the first quarter. Spanish Fort with a fumble punt, an interception on a gadget play. And they gave up the big play on the first play of the game. And that's kind of been the story here through the first 14 minutes and 11 seconds.
And there's a man that's feeling real good and confident right now.
Leopards in a stretch of 3 in a row at home. Last week, McGill. Tonight, Spanish Fort, then the floor.
Take a second to say hello to Miss Millie Fritz, who I know is tuning in, lives out in this area, or used to live out in this area. She's a young lady that loves high school football and watching us every week. So, hello, Miss Fritz.
Jalen Wayne, deep man at the 20. Amaya angled again to the sideline, and it bounces back to the 22-yard line, and now up the near side, and across the 47 goes Jamal Vines. And Spanish Fort's had good field position. See if they can do something with it to start the second quarter, but they may not because there's a flag back at the 31.
And good field position is going to turn into semi-rotten field position. Spotted a foul here.
Well, the times ran out. Either they're going to put some time back on or they're going to just re-kick.
I think they'll just mark it off and start the second quarter. Referee, here we go.
During the return, had a hold on the receiving team. That's a 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Replay first down. We'll play an untimed down before we end the quarter. We'll play an untimed down.
All right, so they'll move it back to the 22, and we will have the untimed down.
So if you're waving your finger in the air like
you just don't care?
Like you just don't care. What that means is, I don't care what you say. We're going to run this untimed down right here.
I'll tell you what, that yellow dirty hanky is really getting the work out here early on.
Dead ball, false start, offense, 5-yard penalty, replay first down.
Trying to see why the Toros have had trouble putting points on the board, sustaining drives this year with these penalties that we're seeing on the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah, and I think some of these penalties are really from the frustration of trying to figure out how to move it at all against Blount.
Holden Wilson in motion. They'll give it off. Jamal Vines trying to get to the right side and stutter steps. And he's going to be close to the original line of scrimmage, and that will close out the first quarter after our untimed down. There you have it, numbers 1 and 3 in 6A battling tonight. And the Blount Leopards, ranked number 3 in the state, have the lead over the Toros, ranked number 1, 18-0 through 1 from 8 Mile. UA Early College UTV 44 game of the week. And here tonight, we're at Leopard Stadium. Jim Cox, Dan Brennan, Big Lockett, Tara Reeves on the sideline, Jared Kihas, and our entire UTV 44 crew bringing you this one. As we start the second, Logan Morgan fires it, and that one incomplete as he skipped it, trying to get over to the lanky receiver, Trey Berry, who could really cause some matchup problems at 6'6", 225 pounds.
And athletic.
Yep. Got to have some time to deliver him the football.
Yeah, he will protect.
3rd and 10. Here for the Toros. Langdon Holloway. In the slot to the near side. They try to slip it out of the backfield to Holden Wilson, and he's got it. He's got some room up the left side. He's going to have a Toro first down all the way out near midfield. He'll be stopped at the Spanish Fort 48. And that's a Go Build Alabama first down.
Nice job there.
Flooded the near side. Everybody think they're coming to the Blount sideline, and then Holden Wilson with a catch and good speed up the far side.
Yeah, but you had to have that blocking on the outside, Jim. Without the blocking, that thing does not work at all against this Blount defense.
Your man, Jacoby Davis, coming over to lay the hit on. The officials have a little conference. There's a flag, and they'll wave it off. I didn't even see that flag make it.
I didn't either.
So a first down for Spanish Fort at the 45. Trying to climb their way back into this one. Jamal Vines, the running back, in behind Logan Morgan. And Morgan started the year at wide receiver. Very talented there. He's now taking over the quarterback position, and Vines bumped his own teammate at midfield to get to the 49.
If they want a shot in this game, they're going to have to be able to run it like that, Jim. They're going to have to be able to do things where Blount just can't pin their ears back and come after Logan Morgan and you know, and make him become a Superman on every play. Just let him be a quarterback, and if you run it, that's what you'll get.
Well, that'll slow down the rush as well. Change the cadence a couple of times.
And on 2nd and 4, they'll be given a Go Build Alabama first down with a 5-yard penalty. As the Leopards jumped offside. Yeah, Logan Morgan, we talked about the talented wide receiver. He was quarterback, and he was behind Wyatt Wilkinson, and he got hurt in the first game, and now had to move from wide receiver, and Rhett Files was there at quarterback, and now settled for a while, it seems, here on Logan Morgan. Steps up now, just heaves it on the far side, looking for Barry, goes up, and he can't hold on to it. Wow.
They're trying to get the big man to play above the rim there. He had it just for a second, but wasn't able to pull it in. 6'6", 225.
Yeah, Logan's done some time at David Morris' quarterbacking camp, too, for a lot of years.
I think that's when Barry's got to pull down. So they take a shot on first down, now 2nd and 10. Morgan gives it off to Vines on the left side, and Vines has got a first down for the Toros. And he's at the 30-yard line.
Got an outstanding block over there on the edge.
And let's go down to the sideline, get another report from Tara Reeves.
Thank you, Jim. I have band director Trip Morris and band member Cole Allen. Now, Trip, tell us a little bit about Spanish Fort.
I'm so excited about Spanish Fort. I moved here 12 years ago. I'm one of the original teachers, and we have all three areas. We have outstanding academics. Last year we had 15 students pass the AP Calculus exam in Miss Powell's class. We have fine arts. We have a superior band, superior choir, great arts, and great theater at Spanish Fort High School. And then also, of course, you know about the Toros football team. We are the state champions in 6A right now, 4 years and 12 years. And I've been there for all 12. We've been at Alabama Stadium twice and Auburn Stadium twice. Go Toros! Yeah!
Wow, what a resume you have there. And then, Cole, I understand that you are the only Baldwin County public school student to be named as a National Merit semifinalist. What an incredible honor. Talk about that.
Yes, I'm very honored to be the only one from Baldwin County, but I couldn't have gotten here without Mr. Morris and the lessons he's taught me. I think one of the most important ones is that you work hard and you try your best, and if your best isn't what you want it to be, you work harder to make it better. And so I've applied that in academics and in band and just all parts of my life, and I can't attest to the character of Mr. Morris and how incredible of a person he is.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Cole. And guys, he's a potential Ivy League participant next year.
Oh, wow. So impressive. Faulkner State Community College Educator Spotlight from Spanish Fort. Thanks, Tara. And 3rd and 8 here for the Toros. Morgan, far side, fires it. And he's got the catch over there, and it's the tall receiver Barry who comes back to get that one, and that's a first down, and that's a big 3rd down conversion for the Toros here.
Yeah, he was looking at one guy, and one guy only. He let it rip to Barry on the sideline, and I mean right on the sideline. Barry does a nice job of keeping his feet in bound to make that a first down.
At the 18-yard line. Logan Morgan, Langdon Holloway in motion. They fake to him. Morgan time floats it, looking for Barry in the middle of the end zone, and he can't pull it down.
Yeah, he had him wide open there. Just put a little bit too much on it and hung it up in there.
Yeah, it's twice we've seen a ball floated in the air and watched this Blount defense converge to the ball.
Once they got the interception, once they're able to get over there and help knock that one away.
It goes so high, they treat it like a punt.
Yep.
Good look from our sideline. And back there to help break things up, Arvell Winchester. Bynes pushes on the right side, and he breaks a tackle. We didn't see Bynes much in the backfield in the McGill game, but you can see why he's been getting more and more carries as the season's gone on here for the Toros.
Yeah, he's got a burst, doesn't he?
And keeps his legs churning even after contact.
3rd and 5. I think we'll call it 3rd and about 4 here for the Toros. Now, pitch it to the near side as they have Rhett Files in at quarterback in the quick pitch.
Nice job by Blount there, turning it inside. One of the safeties or the end men on the line flashed out there to turn it up inside where the rest of his players are. That's how you stop the tall sweep.
Cortland Williams came up to make the stop here.
Now, this is a team that's got a very capable field goal kicker, but I think when you're down this way to Blount, you know, you're chasing some major points, maybe more to come.
That's how I mean, it's less than a foot.
I think you got to go for your Spanish Fort. Give your team 4 more chances to get a touchdown.
Yeah.
It's almost a giveaway. You saw Ben Blackman talking to his offensive lineman that way.
And we've seen Justin Thomas come over to help block on that side of the ball before. Yep. We've seen Thomas Johnston come over there, bring in a big heavy package. And I think that's exactly what we're going to see as we see. There's number 6. Justin Thomas, the LSU commit, coming in, and they'll put Holden Wilson in the Wildcat. They're loaded up to the left. Jalen Wayne goes that way, and a great play streaking in. Let's look at the spot.
Yeah, they got penetration. You can't tell from this angle, but
Wow.
you can tell by the celebration of the defenders that they were successful in stopping it.
It looked like Holden Wilson was going to be able to turn the corner, and he just kind of hesitated to wait for his blockers for a second, and that's all it took. And that might have been Darryl Scott. Let's see if it is 17 who makes the great play. Watch Wilson here. Oh, it didn't even have a chance to turn the corner.
Yeah, that hole opened up, and Darryl Scott just filled it immediately once he saw that part another way.
That hole was equal opportunity for both running back and linebacker, and the linebacker won the race.
Second leading tackler for the Leopards makes the big play there.
Tony going deep. Anybody?
He's always thinking that. Instead, they give it off. Samuel Wilson in with the carry here on first down. We've talked about how big this game is in the region standing. So Blount, Spanish Fort, both undefeated, each with one loss outside of the region. And then you have BC Reign, who has just one loss, but that loss is at the hands of Blount. So if Blount obviously wins out here, they would win the region as Trajan Pugh is bumped to the near side. But if Spanish Fort were to win this game and then BC Reign, who has not played Spanish Fort, won out, they would have a chance to win the region because they would win the tiebreaker. But we're still trying to figure out who's going to win here tonight.
And by the way, even at Blount, when you hear the fans go, ooh, you look up, who made the hit? It was Thomas Johnston.
Yes, he is earning the respect of everybody in the state of Alabama.
Leopards able to get the first down. Tony pulls it down on the right side, looks for a hole, gets down real low behind his blockers, and then squirts out to the outside. He covered a lot of ground to pick up 5 yards there.
I think he faked his own toes out there. His feet faked his toes out, so they kind of gave out, and that's what's caused him to go down low there.
You're quick when you fake yourself out.
Correct. Yeah. Toes were like, hey, I didn't get that memo.
I've had a nice full life, Jim. I've never faked myself out.
We'll give him 7. Play clock inside 10, and Tony's still looking at the sidelines. Now it's inside 5, and he'll get it off. Looks quick slant, able to hit Cameron Burrows, who's brought down by Goodwin, but it's going to be good for a first down for the Leopards.
Here's what I love about Burrows. It's the second time we saw him flash with his hands.
Yes. Shows the quarterback his numbers.
Yep.
Palms facing him.
Yep.
Just hit him right here. He has some talent, no doubt about it.
So this could be a hostile environment to come play as a road team, Vic, and it wasn't last week, but tonight this Blount Leopard crowd is into it.
Hey, when they get it going, the fish fry, they are going to be electric.
What a pass from Tony to get it to the near side, and he's got that one complete. Joshua Norwood at midfield, and another Blount Leopard first down.
And I'll tell you, somebody else is getting in a little groove. Their offensive coordinator, Alonzo Johnson is his name. He talked to me a little bit about his time talking with Parcells, and he's in a groove right now calling plays.
Tony zips it out. Collins Woods with a straight arm to the near side as he's trying to get by Tyreek Graham.
And Dan, let me tell you what gets you really grooving. When you got some great athletes just to call plays for.
No kidding.
They can get you break dancing, spinning on your head, and I mean, you just groove tonight.
Let me tell you, too, Lev Holly went on and on about Collins Woods, too.
About, he wanted to talk about him a lot, didn't he?
Yep. He really likes the way that this kid really works in the classroom, and especially on the football field for him.
Just a junior, 2nd and 8. Dropped that time by Woods.
Well, fair. What's the phrase? Let's make sure we make that aware too. That's his boss's son too.
We do realize that. But he went out of his way to say this is a guy that really, really does everything you ask him to do. And matter of fact, you don't have to ask.
That's right.
We'll take a timeout here. 3rd and 8 coming up for the Leopards. 4:43 to go in the first half. Blount on top, 18-0. One crowd right down in front of us here at the press box at Leopard Stadium. And the Blount cheerleaders Got a lot to cheer about here this evening.
And they've got a lot of cheerleaders as well.
3rd and 8. Tony rolls out, looks, flips it to the near side, and he's got the first down. Collins Woods comes back for the catch, and boy, just a quick flick of the wrist, and it's a 15-yard dart.
Yeah, I mean, it's there in a second and a half, too.
This is just talent, y'all. Watch this throw. Wow. It's like playing darts on the run. and he hit the middle of the bullseye.
At the 35, Tony, middle of the field, and Cameron Burrows tried to slip a tackle. Up to the 33-yard line when they drag him down.
Now, this is what I'd like to see out of Alonzo Johnson, this coordinator. Blount just string together a drive and not just one big bang play.
Yeah.
Because you're going to need to be able to do that in the playoffs against someone.
Tony with a little shoulder fake now off his back foot, flips it up to Collins Woods, who can't hold on.
I think that was a nice defensive play there.
Collins Woods a little slow to get up. Tyreek Graham back there, and Chase White. Just a little back foot floater of a pass there that Woods had a chance to go up and pull down.
Yeah, this is not on Tony at all.
Yeah, he had an opportunity to catch down. That's
Chase White. We're glad to see him back in action. Chase White is the young guy that got hurt the first half of that McGill game, first game of the year.
You're right. Good to see him back out there. 3rd and 6. Tony with pressure coming from Justin Thomas. Gets away from it, now a flag, and another one comes. Guess it's going to be a hold.
Yeah, we thought Thomas was going to make the sack there, but he didn't.
Holding against the Leopards. And on 3rd down, sometimes you think about turning that. But it would have been turn it down. It's 4th and 2 at the 28. Yeah, you got to back them up here on 3rd down. And
let's see if we can get a replay and see where the hole went after the call.
During the play, holding on the offense. That's a 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Replay 3rd down.
Not sure if the holding occurred once Tony made his way through some
the line of scrimmage.
Yeah. Targets got all turned around.
3rd and 15. Tony, pressure from the outside coming, gets away from Goodwin. And now Tony still in pressure, escapes at the 40 and dives up to the 33-yard line.
I think he enjoys it.
I'm sure. I mean, who wouldn't? Wouldn't you enjoy being able to do that? But
yeah.
Upset he wasn't able to finish it off there. And Cameron Burrows, the wide receiver, lobbying the Blount bench to go for it here on 4th down.
I mean, if I was a yo-yo playing against Earthlings, I would like it too. It seems to be an advantage. What did Eddie Stevenson call him? We'll get back to that. Eddie Stevenson had a great quote about him.
All right, let's go back down to Tara. She's got our Gulf Coast offices of Alexander Shinara, Scholastic Athlete of the Week from Spanish Fort.
Yes, thank you so much, Jim. I'm here with Molly Quinn. And Molly, as a senior, you start to make those college plans. Have you started to make any of those decisions yet?
I plan on attending Auburn University and being a pre-med major and either becoming a physical therapist or a physician's assistant.
And then you obviously cheer at Spanish Fort. Are you involved in any other extracurricular activities?
I'm involved with a club called Project Outreach. It connects typical high schoolers with special needs children, and I'm on the leadership team, and I'm very involved in that.
All right, Molly, well, on behalf of the Gulf Coast Law Offices of Alexander Shinara, we'd like to present you with this plaque and a $250 scholarship. Guys.
All right, thanks, Tara, and thanks to our friends at Alexander Shinara. Molly Quinn heading on to Auburn and going to go pre-med, Dan's old major, and 4.3 GPA.
Yeah, real old.
National Honor Society, and talked about everything else she's involved there. So congratulations to Molly, our Scholastic Athlete of the Week. And the Toros are going to go for the Leopards are going to go for it here against those Toros at 4th and 8 from the 33. Now it's going to be 4th and more, unless a timeout. I think Blount called a timeout.
Didn't like the formation, or he was avoiding the penalty.
Yeah, I don't think he liked. I don't think Lev liked what he saw defensively, lined up by the Toros there.
Yeah, if you're going to go for it, might as well get it right, huh?
Eddie Stevenson, by the way, was Eddie Stevenson. His quote to us, he's an assistant for Spanish Fort, was that Tony is like the 10th planet. He just kind of shows up when he wants to and disappears again.
Big win for Rick Colley and the Murphy Panthers last night at Ladd, 21-20. Foley ties it up, no time on the clock. They go for 2 and the win, and Neil Farrell makes the sack to stop the Foley drive.
As he should.
And Murphy gets the win, and things turn around a little bit there in Midtown. Bryan and McGill-Tulin. This one all McGill-Tulin early in this one. 14-14 so far between Baker and Fairhope. Davidson on the road taking on Mary G. BC Rain and Daphne tonight. Daphne leads that one. Robertsdale and Baldwin County. Gulf Shores up at Saraland tonight. Citronelle hosting Wilcox Central, and UMS leading Faith early. Big one, St. Paul's and Jackson. Last we heard, Jackson on top 7-0. Williamson hosting Viger. Thomasville and Andalusia tonight. And we see the rest of our games there, including Marengo and Fruitdale matching up this evening. And now back to 4th and 8 after the timeout on the Leopards. Tony fires middle of the field, tipped up in the air, and it's Colt Steiner who got his hands on it, and the Spanish Fort defense will hold here, and we'll see if that can give them a little momentum.
Yeah, nice job by Colt getting in the lane of the receiver and getting his hands up.
Yeah, they came after the quarterback when Lev called the timeout. This time, Colt Steiner, the other linebackers, just dropped back and watched that kid react real quickly. With both hands.
Yeah, and you think about the athletic play he makes. That's also good coaching. It's just drilled into kids to be able to make sure get your hands up, even if you don't think you can make the interception. Tips it away.
Make the proper drop, of course. So you're in a position to knock it away.
Here comes Logan Morgan back out after the last drive was stopped down deep in Leopard territory. Langdon Holloway to the 39-yard line as we're inside 3 minutes to go in the opening quarter.
You know, if you can get a little of that action going a little bit, what you can do is draw the defense away, get their eyes away from Logan Morgan. He can keep it on one of those, and he can make some things happen, number 4.
Yeah, they probably got that in their arsenal. Just setting up some stuff.
Big play given up and some jitters early by Spanish Fort. But this is kind of settled into the game we thought we would see here now.
But offensively, again, they're struggling for whatever they can get.
Wow, and Holden Wilson, if he made the catch, he did. His knee was down on the ground.
But again, you got Morgan. He's pressured to the point where the ball is a little bit shallow of the mark, and it just takes that much. And when Blount keeps coming after you, keeps minimizing what your quarterback can do, here's over time what happens. What could have been a good play is not.
And this is the 3rd quarterback that's been used this season.
Yep. I like him a lot at wide receiver.
Yeah, he's a weapon out there. Speedy, sure hands.
Yeah, shifty.
Returning punts. We've seen him do that as well.
Oh, yeah.
And he's just still developing as a quarterback.
Well, he's a senior now, and he had to play all those years where he never got to play because of Tyler Johnston.
Sure.
So he became such a valuable weapon at wide receiver. That's what he began to concentrate on, and he'll play somewhere in the next level at wide out.
3rd and 7. Pressure again, fires in. Able to come down and make the catch and hold on to it. Jalen Wayne with the first down for the Toros. And again, pressure coming. But Morgan stood in there and got the throw off to Wayne.
He did a good job, too, getting it right where it needs to be. Oblivious to the pressure and just deliver the football.
Considering how little quarterback he has played through the years, that was even that much more impressive a play.
Well, he's got good coaching, no doubt about it over there. Coach Blackman does a good job with his offense and defense.
Yep.
So if you can succeed, you will have the opportunity.
Trey Berry goes in motion. No rollout that way as well. Try to come to him, and it's incomplete. And that was the freshman Cortland Martin chasing Logan Morgan. Hey, our trivia question tonight coming into the game. Spanish Fort, they've won 19 straight region road games. It's a long time. They play only a handful on the road each year, 3, 4, maybe 5 on an odd year. So when was the last time they lost?
Well, I think I've had a couple of weeks in a row where I was so certain of my answer. So if I can just toss out a no comment.
This one you got me stumped, certainly.
And I'm glad you learned you didn't take that mindset to Vegas last week. You did not do.
No,
you're not
I did
overconfident there. That's good. So we'll tell you the last time the Toros lost on the road in a region game. 2nd and 10. Holloway goes in motion. They give it to him. Holloway cuts it just a little seam, and he's able to get to the 49-yard line. And, a minute and a half to go. Toros get a little something going here, get some type of points. They do get the ball back to start quarter number 3.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah, I like the way that kid ran that jet sweep. Don't let him string it out completely. Somewhere cut the thing up and just get all you can get.
Especially against a team like Blount, where that corner's going to be tough to get to.
I see it on every level, and I'm like, receiver, please turn it up.
3rd and 5. Quick over the middle. Barry's able to make the catch, and he's got the first down. And as you can see, this is what they're going to have to do, just small chunks. They haven't been able to get the downfield ball to Barry tonight. He's had a couple of drops or maybe balls he should have pulled in. But
contested.
Yep. But now we're at a minute to go, and at the 44.
He's a big, good-looking athlete, I can tell you that.
Morgan rolls out now, does have a little time, and he gets it right in the middle of the field, and that's Barry to the 35, and he's got the first down, so that'll stop the clock while they move the chains.
Yeah, Lev-Nimmo's going to have to make an adjustment to say, hey, we're going to have to take care of the middle of the field. When that little guy comes across there, jump him, get out of your zone. If he's in your zone, get on him.
Spanish Fort will take a timeout here with 39 seconds left. Imperative, I think, they get something out of this drive. They've got a young kicker with a big leg, but boy, get something out, a little momentum to take in to the locker room at the half.
Yeah, especially getting the ball to start the second half. And the clock did not stop there to move the chain simply because they were a little bit short of that first down.
You're right.
That cost them some time right there, and they went ahead and used the timeout.
2nd and less than a yard.
Spanish Fort Band looking like they're about to break out of Broadway production here at halftime.
Well, to rival the shows you saw in Vegas, right?
I think they're planning on doing Hamilton at the.
It looks like it
at the half. Hey, some scores at the half. Baker and Fairhope tied at 14. Bayside leads Hillcrest Evergreen 21-20. Daphne 29-3 over BC Rain.
Kenny King.
UMS up 42 over Faith. Viger leads Williamson 14-6. McGill 2-1 41-7 over Bryant. Try to rustle up a St. Paul's score for you. 2nd and a foot. Hogan Morgan rolls out. Again, that one incomplete. Incomplete's okay. Stops it now. You still got 3rd and very short. 14.
Go back to Barry.
14-14 at the half between St. Paul's and Jackson.
Ooh.
That one, big matchup in 5A.
Home of the Aggies up there.
3rd and 1. Morgan. Now they'll put Barry up to the top of the screen. Jalen Wayne, a tall, lanky receiver to the outside. Holloway in motion. Morgan deep drop this time. Airs it out, looking for Barry. Double coverage, thrown up and knocked down. Barry just did a good job to get a hand on that one to knock it away to prevent it from being intercepted. And now you're at 4th and less than a yard with 29 seconds left.
A little bit of frustration there on Barry.
He's been targeted a lot. Just a few catches, and he's just got to keep his emotions in check and understand they're going to need him all game long in this one.
Yeah, you know, our favorite saying is play the next play.
Yep.
Jamal Vines in the backfield. He'll take the handoff right up the middle. And he's got some contact, but he's pushing forward and keeps the legs going. He's got a first down, so they'll momentarily stop the clock.
You know, that first down was important for a couple of reasons, because if you don't get that first down and Blount has the ball with 25 seconds left, you just don't know what can happen.
I can tell you what will be attempted.
Yes, I can tell you that too.
Yeah, there was no plays that were taken out of the playbook because the quarterback couldn't get it there.
No.
At that point.
No, not those.
Spanish Fort takes another timeout, and they've got it
You know what Spanish Fort
Here at
does
the
a
33,
great job of, and I'm seeing it now with Blount as well. You know, from a bird's eye view, Spanish Fort develops good teammates. They develop a culture on that team where teammates are not just players, they are accountable to each other. You're starting to see that here too. I think Lev's done a great job with this team, not just plugging people in to succeed as an individual on a play, but to succeed as a teammate. You get what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah, and what you're seeing is, it starts at the top with the coaches, and then you've got good senior leadership amongst the players, and players will police themselves. Trust me, you go in that locker room sometimes, you find out who the alpha dog is. And they're kidding around, and there's some downtime. You walk in there, you'll know immediately.
1st and 10 from the 33. Morgan rolls out. Martin chasing him. Plants his feet, fires that one end over end. Tipped up in the air. Still tipped, and Jalen Wayne with the catch. Then he fumbles the ball, and it's picked up by the Leopards. Out across the 10-yard line. What a play. Kelsey Hill winds up with it.
Wow. That'll make a few highlights.
Yeah.
That ball was just a pass that was kind of going end over end on the far side.
Well, Morgan is pressured again right in his face. He still tries to get it out there. The competitor that he is, he knows he's going to get nailed and just gives his team a chance, and he didn't know how good a chance.
Clearly a fumble because he was up.
Wayne is trying to stretch it out over the goal line, so that was his intent, I believe, Jim.
Yep.
Great hustle by that lineman, or otherwise that could have been some points for Blount.
Yep.
And now
shockingly, they're going to relax.
3 seconds, they just take a knee and exhale.
And to finish that point about, you're seeing the team growing, you got to be sure that alpha dog in the locker room is a good dude.
Got it.
Because if he's a bad dude, it goes the other way.
Yep.
All right. This will...
Just like in this press box. So somebody could get me something to drink.
Yeah, Dan, you keep it going in a positive direction.
All right, Tara's got Lev Holly. Tara.
Thanks, Jim. Coach, you said this game against Spanish Fort was going to show you where you are as a team. How impressed are you with your team's performance so far?
Man, we got some mistakes, but I like the effort. Last week it was totally different. But I think tonight we coming out and we actually playing like we're Blount. So really pleased with the effort, but hey, we got 24 minutes.
And then you guys jumped out early, scoring on the first play of the game, and you've continued to connect offensively. How are you able to be so successful against such a physical Toro defense?
Man, you just got to believe in what you do. And I think we got some good keys and got some things that we're looking at, and we still haven't had a chance to open it up. So we're going to come in and go evaluate it and just come out and try to finish this thing off.
All right, thanks, Coach. Good luck.
What a first half there, and boy, what a lost opportunity by the Toros right there at the end of the half. But boy, I mean, credit the Blount defense for making a play down there and continuing until the whistle, and a great compete level. And it's 18-0. Blount has the lead here at the half. We'll come back to the Pepsi halftime show, but first we'll tell you about Marlon Williams. What a game he had last week. 179 yards, receiving 4 touchdowns on the night to lead McGill-Toolen Yellow Jackets to a big win here in Spanish Fort. He rushed for 2. He caught 2. And he was everything that USC hopes he's going to bring out to the West Coast next year. And at the end of tonight's game, we'll give you a chance to vote on the players of the week. Go to local15tv.com after the game and do so.
He also got an award at the Crichton Optimist Club at Heron Lakes this past Wednesday, and I had a chance to present him with the award. Great young guy. And anybody that can leave the Blount defense looking flat-footed, you're pretty special.
He was the player of the game. We'll find out who it is for this game coming up next week. Halftime show next. It's the Pepsi halftime show coming up with the Spanish. Pepsi halftime show here, the game of the week. And let's go down and enjoy the Pepsi halftime show and the Spanish Fort Band.
Stepping time! Stepping time! Stepping time! Stepping time!
The Central High School Marching Polo Band is under the field direction of junior drum major A.B. and senior drum major Miguel Martito.
Pepsi halftime show continues on. Let's get out and enjoy the Blount Leopard Marching Band.
They get down to maybe 2 minutes ago. Look out, he's just dancing down and get down to Michael Jackson's working doing nothing.
There you see our score at the half, 18-0 Blount. Kadarius Toney and the Leopards on top. They're ranked number 3 in 6A, taking on the number 1 ranked team, the Spanish Fort Toros. Jim Cox, Dan Brennan, and Vic Lockett here. We wondered about how Blount was going to come out after the big loss last week. They answered that question quickly.
Yeah, sometimes you watch Kadarius Toney and you wonder, could he play that well even with the towel on his head? Like we just saw, nothing seems to faze him at all. They came out ready to go. Spanish Fort has certainly put up some resistance in the second period, but they just can't move the ball against this Blount defense.
And they got to get something going quickly here in the second half, Vic.
Yeah, no doubt about it. If they're planning on getting in this football game, they've got to score, and they've got to score fast.
Blount will kick to open things up in the second half as the Toros could not capitalize on that last drive before the first half. Blount's defense forcing the turnover with 3 seconds left. Alvarado Amaya sends this one. Langdon Holloway back to the 26. Holloway turns the corner, block in the back. This long return out past midfield is going to come back.
Almost looked dangerous, that block in the back as well. I hope he's okay. He did get up.
And you were talking about seeing plays at every level, Vic. I mean, you see that one at every level as well. It's like you can't let up sometimes. Let's look at our stats at the half. 229 total yards from Blount, and Kadarius Toney, 8 of 12, 142 yards, and 2 turnovers there in the first half for Spanish Fort. Those hurt. The interception in the first quarter and then the turnover late inside the 5-yard line. 8 penalties, Baldwin County in the first half. And see, we said after the first period, it kind of settled into an evenly matched game. But that first quarter.
Yeah, Spanish Fort had some concentration problems, no doubt, in their first couple of series.
Morgan dumps it out to the near side. Jamal Vines out of the backfield up to the 33-yard line. You do wonder, we've seen Rhett Files at quarterback some this year, and you wonder if the struggle continues, and I think it's more Blount defense related than quarterback related. And you just wonder if they look for a spark there. Let's go down to Tara. She's got the halftime comments after she talked to Coach Ben Blackman.
Yeah, thanks, Jim. At the half, Coach Blackman said he's impressed with his defense's performance so far, but he'd rather sustain drives offensively and keep the defense off of the field. And when they do make it to the red zone, they're going to have to produce points in order to win this football game, guys.
Inside give to Vines. He tries to bump it to the outside.
That's just great defense there. They had a host of blockers out there, but they defended the edge, turned it back inside where the rest of the defense is.
Zajon Poe able to make the tackle.
Still picked up the first down, though.
They needed that. Poe going to Jacksonville State. And there's Jamal Vines, 5'10", 175-pound senior at running back. And now Toros will load up the near side.
Trips to the bottom of the screen.
Give it off to Vines, and he goes off left tackle and gets maybe back to the line of scrimmage, and not much more there.
Got a tough time making a living in between the tackles against Blount. Just like against Spanish Fort.
Well, that's where they want you.
Yeah.
Stay inside.
Adrian Law in there on the outside. Donadio Madison. That freshman Corton Martin, number 11.
By the way, we stepped outside during halftime outside of the press box and got a chance to feel just how beautiful and cool it is here in 8 Mile.
Just about football weather.
Holden Wilson trying to plow ahead to the 42 and 3rd and 4 coming up here for the Toros.
They found some success there in between the tackles that time. Just became far and few between.
Wilson's a sturdy guy. Goes about 215 pounds, so he can run a little bit in between the tackles.
Yeah, used to play quarterback down at Gulf Shores.
That quick feet.
Ben Blackman was there. Toros, 4-year running region champions here, 12, 13, 14, and 15. And the winner here tonight will have the inside track on a championship tonight. Wilson ahead. He's got a first down to the 49.
All the misdirections there kind of confused Blount, froze them in their tracks. And next thing you know, the ball's coming right at you, and next thing you know, it's by you.
That is an Alabama Secretary of State first down for the Toros, and Josh Peoples has got 3 carries on the year. He's in the backfield. And make it 4, and he drops the football and recovered easily by the Leopards. Donadio Madison is there, and boy, that was an unforced error. That was just a dropped football here.
Yeah, Madison was looking to blow up the play and make a tackle, but he says, oh, wait a minute, nobody's got the ball. Let me take it.
Boy, I really don't think Peoples was expecting to get it, judging from his reaction, and I think he was expecting Logan Morgan to pull that ball back out of him.
Yeah, he didn't look like he realized it was even gone or a fumble on him until it was way too late.
Yeah, but I haven't seen Spanish Fort make this many mistakes in terms of their concentration in a while, if ever.
3rd turnover for the Toros here tonight, and statistics are not in your favor when you turn the ball over 3 times at any level. Trajan Pugh up to the 35. The ball came loose at the end. The Toros say they have it. There's a flag. There's going to be a motion penalty against Blount. The Leopard's saying the runner was down. There's been no official signal.
And the beanbags on the ground. The telltale sign.
Officials will huddle up.
The Spanish Fort
Thomas
side of the
Johnson.
field looking for something to cheer about.
Thomas Johnston getting the fans up on their feet on the far side. Let's watch here. He's down at that point.
Yep.
Yeah,
Kader's now encouraging the Blount crowd to get behind them and say, hey, we got the football, but we're going to be marked off with the penalty.
Well, they'd rather have 1st and 15
than 1st and 10 going the other direction.
Yeah, not
right?
have it at all, right?
Boy, if you're you're Ben Blackman on the other side, even, that was the right call. You just feel like, boy, it's just not going our way right now.
The ruling was the player was down, therefore it's still Blount's ball. However, we had an illegal formation on the offense. That's a 5-yard penalty and replay first down.
Sometimes it's easy for us to sit up here and watch replays when the officials don't get it right.
Yep.
They got it right real time there.
And good explanation.
Yep, good job by the men in stripes. First and 15. Tony with the give to Trajan Pugh, and we'll get maybe one, and Thomas Johnston is in there as he's really trying to get the crowd and his teammates fired up.
He comes out of there hot-stepping.
You get the feeling that guy, if he just wanted to give up football and go directly into UFC or...
I was going to listen to see what you see him do.
Penetrates on that one, and the Leopards move it up to the 40 and 3rd and 7.
Well, he's not been afraid to be on a varsity football field since he was 14, so he's not going to scare easy if you toss him in an octagon.
I don't think so. In fact, I'd put my money on him if I'm a betting man.
Joshua Brown with the carry there for the Leopards. Tony fakes, looks near sideline, now over the middle, fires, and he's able to get that one complete off to Norwood. And boy, Mike Miller was there, almost looked like he came in a little early, but Norwood goes up to pull it down, and a big 3rd and 8 conversion from the Leopards.
Yeah, outstanding concentration by him, because anybody else getting contact before the ball's there would just not even go after it. He pulls it in for a first down.
And with Tony, it gets there in a big-time hurry.
It does. It's kind of stuck to his chest.
Brown on the left side.
A lot of credit to the Spanish Fort front 7, because despite the troubles they had early with some big plays, and Colt Steiner looking for a hand up, he's not going to get it. But
he just got knocked back down at the end of the play.
Oh, I got it. But they keep competing there in the front 7, and I think we're. The run. Going to set up a play action here, and that's where Tony might try to beat him with something deep.
Justin Thomas to make a big play for him on that line. The LSU commit to try to make a difference here against Kadarius Toney, rolling out to the right side, and Tony just slips down inside the 20 there.
There again, he faked his toes out, and they say, which way are you going to go? We're going this way, but you're trying to go that way. We're not fast enough.
These are the replacement toes, because
yeah. This is a kid who not only wins a lot of games, and you see the spectacular ability, but really he's got a lot of heart, too, and everybody on both sidelines recognizes that.
3rd and 5. Brown. Pressure coming, try to turn the corner. And he'll be hit at the sidelines. He's going to be short of the first down for 4th down. Coming up, great pursuit by the Toros on that one.
Yeah, they're going to play you inside out and try to turn you in if they don't get out there quick enough. But they're going to be inside out for sure.
No hesitation from Led Holly and the Leopards here.
Not going to send Big 99 out there.
4th and 2. Tony on the keeper. Goes on the left side. He's going to have the first down. A late flag comes in. Boy, he dropped the shoulder as we've seen him do. So this flag was a holding call against the Leopards.
I'll tell you, the holding call was way after Tony gets past the line of scrimmage. Flag gets thrown right about now, maybe?
It was a hold you could see, but boy, it didn't need to be, because it didn't need to be held because Tony had already turned the corner. But
replay 4th down.
Here's a rule: don't hold because Tony's got the ball. Just go ahead and assume he's going to do what you need done.
Yeah, they just get caught in no man's land blocking for him, because he could be left, he could be right. Heck, he could be flying over you as talented as he is.
All right, 4th and 12, and we'll take a timeout here. Officials are going to take a timeout. 5:43, big 4th down coming up. We're halfway through the 3rd. Blount still on top, 18-0. 4th and 12 after the holding call. Kadarius Toney rolls out. Thomas giving chase. And Toney still on his feet, slips away from Steiner and fires, and unable to hold on to it. It would have been a first down at the sticks, and Cameron Burrows couldn't get it. But how about slipping out of the tackle? And Destin Myers had him.
Showed some strength, didn't he?
Wow. What a great play. And all right, let's go down on the sidelines. Tara's got another Faulkner State Educator Community Spotlight.
Thanks, Jim. I have Valerie McGrew. She is a sports med instructor. And now, Valerie, tell us about the sports med program here at Blount.
Okay, sports med has been here now entering in our 2nd year as a pathway at Blount High School. Okay, and what we do is known between 2014 and 2024, it was projected to increase by 21%. So that is a big deal, okay? So our students are able to go shadow, and I may acknowledge Ms. Carol Statter. She is at Infirmary Health Systems, and she has placed our students in physical therapy, occupational therapy, social services, and with the physicians. So our students get an opportunity to see firsthand what it's like to work in that environment. So it's great. It's a great experience. And as we speak now, we have students working with the athletic trainer. So they get a chance to come back to the classroom and let us know what they've learned on the field.
Wow, that's such an incredible program that you offer here at Blount. Thanks so much, Valerie. Back up to you, Jim.
All right, thanks, Tara. And now we see Logan Morgan split out at wide receiver. Rhett Files back in at quarterback. Files 6'2", 195-pound junior. And the best playmaker on the outside they have on this team has been playing quarterback for the first 3.5 quarters. And now they get Logan Morgan back on the outside, and we'll see if Files can get it to him.
Yeah, he did that time, and they were all over him.
Files with pressure. Able to find Barry, who squats down at the 35-yard line, short of the first down.
Barry's making up some catches.
Yeah, he's making some catches low, too, which is really difficult for a guy 6'6" like that. So athletic enough to not just jump high, but go down low.
Fourth and a long yard here for the Toros.
You don't kick it here, Dan? 3 minutes in the 3rd quarter.
Wow, it's your own 33. 3:41 to go.
They got kicked.
The 3rd, yep. Rhett Files puts Holloway in motion. Instead, they give it off to Vines, and Vines trying to slip ahead, and good work up to the 35.
Well, Coach Blackman's got it, I think.
He does have the first down.
That's why he gets paid the big bucks.
Well, and I think you're trying to get a spark going. You got to get something going here, and you're not going to get that many touches left in the game.
Yeah, the defense has done a good job, but theoretically, you could punt it to Blount and not see it until the 4th quarter gets here.
And I think if you tell Coach Blackman in the pregame show, hey, you've held Blount to 18 with 3 minutes to go in the 3rd, he's pretty happy.
Yeah, but he's probably also trying to figure out in his mind, now how do we get 18?
Right. 3-possession game. Files strong arms that one. He's able to get it to Logan Morgan, who's got a first down to the 49, and you can just see the bigger arm strength from Files, and you got to get it in Logan Morgan's hands and give him a chance to bust a big one.
Yep, that's what they prefer, this lineup right here.
Okay. Yeah, well, I did see the velocity on the ball that time.
Files 28 of 53, 475 yards and 6 touchdown TDs on the year coming in tonight, and now Barry, with those long strides, was 3 yards down the field before the ball snapped.
Got a little bit
Dead ball. False start. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Replay first down.
I knew he was about to get the football, so he's ready to get it.
And I do think when you have Logan Morgan out there, you do have that your most legitimate deep threat to go up and get the ball or break a tackle after he catches it and take one a long way.
Well, Wayne can run a little bit too, and he may have better flat-out speed, but Morgan is just such a competent, excellent receiver just all around.
Files steps up in the pocket and zips that one off, and he's got Morgan. First down to the 44-yard line, and now we see Kadarius Toney. Can you see the Superman socks there? Those are actually capes. Superman capes on the socks there of Kadarius Toney.
And I'm sure he's got an S on his chest under his jersey.
How about that? Not the socks, the fact he's out there on defense.
2nd and 5. Files steps up, looking the far sidelines, and it was just overthrown. Trying to get it to Morgan. We saw him come in on defense last week a little bit as well before the game got out of hand. 3rd and 5.
He said 2 number 4s can run all day. They can play a number of positions. They can play offense or defense, and they never get tired.
They probably make the Powerade for the team.
Wouldn't complain.
3rd and 5.
Got him to move.
Yep, egregious left tackle.
Brett Betts. I was just getting ready to say, Ben Blackman went for it at his own 33 on 4th down. You would think he's in 2-down territory, but it was 3rd and a yard. Now you got 3rd and 10. Just the other side of the 50.
I think that big tackle Betts is he's going to play on Saturdays. He's only a junior. Yeah. He's a good-looking player.
Played a lot last year as a sophomore on the state championship team. Files, middle of the field, knocked down. Just getting a hand on that was Zajon Poe.
What a job by Law, just pushing his way into the backfield there.
And now at 4th and 10, you have to punt it.
Let's see if Kadarius is going to go back there and get the punt.
No, not going to do that.
How dangerous would that be?
Yeah. For who?
Everybody trying to tackle him for sure.
Trajan Pugh back to receive the punt. Pugh lets it go over his head and takes a Toro bounce. If they can hustle, they can down it inside the 5, and they'll do it at the 3. So they flip the field, but still yet to score a point.
And it's been a while since Blount scored any points.
Yeah.
First quarter, yeah. It's a scoreless 2nd. Minute 48 away from being a scoreless 3rd.
I'm always impressed by coaches that don't wear it. You know, they don't wear the situation. And Ben Blackman, again, has been a head coach a long time for a young guy, and he fits that description.
Tony zips it to the, wow.
2 receivers in the same area. They didn't know which one was supposed to get the football.
Cameron Burrows was there, as was Collins Woods.
Well, since it was 97 miles an hour, neither.
And both of them had an opportunity at it.
Yeah.
Second and 10.
Kadarius probably looking at him and say, look, one of you guys, catch it for me.
Tony pulls it down up the middle of the field.
Out to about the 10-yard line.
Zach Miller able to come and make the stop.
You like that young man a lot, right?
Had him on the pregame show. 3rd and 5. Tony, middle of the field, able to get it off and complete. And that is Samuel Wilson with the catch. He's going to have a first down. And out across the 20-yard line. This will give us a chance. So we'll keep it here. First down.
Spread, if you ever seen one. Trips to the bottom. Twins up top. Nobody in the backfield.
Wind the
quarterback draw still in play.
Always.
So you can't just bail out of there.
A hard count. Justin Thomas, the LSU commit.
Boy, he's
ready.
Pre-game show, and you talk about looking the part, getting off the bus.
Dead ball, encroachment on the defense. 5-yard penalty, replay first down.
It's been interesting to see if he maintains his commitment, with the changes over there.
Yeah, he and Neil Farrell from Murphy this week both saying they're firmly still committed to LSU. Tony
there it goes.
Pull it down on the right side, and he's got the first down and more to the 47-yard line before Chase White finally brings him down for the Toros.
I mean, when he makes a fake, he commits his whole body to going the opposite way of where he's really going to go.
Yeah. Toes and all.
Yeah. You're taught, guys, to look at guys' waist, but I believe his waist even goes the way it should not.
Yeah. His waist contorts. That messes everything up.
Yeah, he's coming out of the game, though. They got to get another QB in there.
Yeah. Cameron Burrows comes in,
or another receiver, and Burrows just goes to the quarterback.
Tony lays down on the near side. Looks like he cut some tape off maybe, and Burrows fires it complete up to the 50. Cameron Burrows played really well against Robertsdale at quarterback when Tony was out, and Tony looks like they're just trying to get some tape cut off of his right ankle. But Burrows came in, played a lot in the second half against McGill last week.
Yeah, he spatted up real tight there.
Darius is saying, don't cut the Superman socks. Burrows drops it, slings it out. Collins Woods, great job holding on for the tackle up at the 49-yard line. DJ James, the sophomore, who's had a great year. Cornerback for the Spanish 14 with 4 interceptions and 3 that he's returned to the house for a touchdown. The Leopards will just let the clock run out here. They don't have to snap it. When we come back in the fourth quarter, we'll hear from the principal at Blount. He'll join Tara on the sidelines as we are through 3 at Leopard Stadium in Blount. Has the lead by a score of 18-0. We'll come back. The ball right at midfield. Don't have to move the ball. Just the teams have to flip around. Lev Howley, his team on top. 18-0 as we start the... Jim Cox, Dan Brennan, Vic Lockett, Tara Reeves on the sideline. Jared Kihas and our entire crew here today. Boy, had a tough first time I've heard talk of like a fire in the production truck during the setup. But our crew had a heck of a battle here today, and they've got everything set up and bringing it to you live here tonight from
They always
Leopard
do a fantastic job. Fantastic job.
3rd and 6, and Kadarius Toney, he of the Superman socks, back in at quarterback. A little fake run and then dumps it off, and he's able to get it off to the near side. And the first down is Cameron Burrows inside the 40. A flag back at the far hash. Eligible man downfield against the Leopards.
Saban rule.
Steiner got hurt near the end of that play. He's up and okay, but I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't get hit by friendly fire there.
It will happen.
Ineligible on such a quick play.
Yeah, I'd like to go back and take a look at it, but that's what they call.
I have an ineligible.
He must have sprinted out there.
I have an ineligible receiver downfield on the offense. That's a 5-yard penalty and replay 3rd down.
See, I think that happens on these RPOs, those run-pass options.
Yeah, good idea.
And if the quarterback is thinking going pass, but the linemen are going run, so they're going to make their blocks.
All right, let's go down to Tara Reeves on the sideline. She's got Jerome Woods, principal here at Blount.
Yes, thanks, Jim. It's Collins Woods the third is our scholar athlete, and his dad, Collins Woods the second, is joining me here. And now your son is a very accomplished young man. Talk about some of his achievements.
Well, he's been named the Crichton Optimist Scholar Athlete of the Year, Student Athlete of the Year here at Blount. Several other accomplishments, both in the classroom and on the field. We're very proud of him.
And such a bright future ahead of him. What do you think is in store?
Wow, the sky's the limit. Such a good student, 4.3 grade point average, 22 on ACT as a freshman. I think, wherever he wants to go to school, grab a good scholarship. He's a student first, athlete second, and hopefully he's going to use the athlete part to get to school for free.
Yes, such a proud dad. And on behalf of the Gulf Coast Law Offices of Alexander Shannara, we'd like to present you this plaque, and then Collins a $250 scholarship.
Wow, thanks a lot. We appreciate it.
Guys.
Jerome Woods, principal here. We'll talk about him so much. Collins Woods Jr., who is our guest of the pregame show. We'll talk about him momentarily here as Kadarius Toney fires, and right on cue, he comes to the Scholastic athlete. Right after we get talking about his accomplishments in the classroom, he gets a first down there on the field. And football, basketball, track and field, AP honors, and just such a fine young man. And LSU, Tulane, Vanderbilt, he's narrowed it down to those three fine academic institutions thus far. And,
why not?
And boy, Lev Howley was just speaking glowingly of that young man as a leader, a mentor, and just as a fine young man at the pregame show.
It's not like Lev doesn't have job security, like he had to make sure that Jerome heard everything he said. But, you know, not an apple not far from the tree. I was talking with Principal Woods before the game, too, and class act, and there's his class act son.
Second down, and Toney slips on the right side and to about the 36-yard line. That's going to be a flag right at the end of that play. DJ James with his hands up in the face of Collins Woods. And I think that one's going to go against the sophomore from Spanish Fort.
Tell you what, you've got to give Spanish Fort's defense a lot of credit, and it's, you know, they haven't really gotten beat deep except for the one big play.
Very first play of the game.
And even the explosiveness of the rest of this team, including the guy that's got the ball in his hands every play, Toney, they've kind of kept him under wraps and running, you know, free and crazy. He's made some plays, but nothing too spectacularly big.
Against each team, had a dead ball personal foul against Blount, and have a dead ball personal foul against White. Those will offset, and we'll replay third down.
You're right. It's that first play of the game, but you know the second touchdown. It's after a fumbled punt. Blount got it at the 30, a short field, and that was in the first quarter. Since then, Tony Stoneker's defense for the Leopards, for the Toros defensive coordinator, and Thomas Johnson and crew have done a good job to hold this Blount team in check.
It's just been a problem getting anything going offensively against Blount. That's been the problem.
Third down, Toney, middle of the field, fires, and he's able to get it complete to the 26-yard line. Is wrestling for it. Burrows there with Chase White. Nothing wrong with that. Those are just two kids competing for the football, and there was nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, two and through the whistle. And did you see what Toney did on that play? He was already consciously avoiding a hit and still making the throw downfield.
And it was Justin Thomas who was barreling in on him as well.
And these last two passes, actually the best I've seen him throw in immediately.
Watch here. Watch his body.
Some zip.
He got rid of it. He saw the pressure coming, and he changed his delivery to a quick one.
Snap. Doesn't get off as we have a penalty here on the Leopards. Back them up 5 on first down. Oh, you mentioned it so much, Dan, and so well how well the Spanish Fort defense has played. But you do get the feeling, you know, we could be here till tomorrow, and the offense is going to struggle moving against this Blount defense.
Yeah, just haven't seen any kind of explosion, because to nickel and dime your way down the field against this team is not easy. You've got to make big plays, and they haven't even come close.
Well, I could tell Spanish Fort just real quick. Jim's not going to be here tomorrow. He's going to be on his boat somewhere fishing in this good weather.
How about this weather?
Yeah.
You know, I like it to get up to like 84. That's kind of my benchmark. It was 77 today. 84 is kind of my...
Well, on behalf of Dick, we're so sorry.
Second down, 15. Toney, all kinds of time. Now fires it, gets the open receiver. He gets it to Wilson, and Samuel Wilson takes it down inside the 10 to the 9, and it's another Leopard first down.
Good poise in the pocket there by Toney, not taking off, keeping his head downfield, downfoot. Looks like he wanted to go deep, Dan, but it wasn't there. Say, okay, I'll check it down. Some of these talented backs.
The way he can adjust his body and make a throw on the run against his body, very impressive.
First and goal at the 8. Tony on the near side to Burrows, looking for a block from Woods, and he breaks a tackle, and he's in for the touchdown.
Bad alignment from the beginning, and they just took advantage of it. You know, defense's first thing is alignment, and if you line up wrong, these offenses around the state will make you pay, and right there, Tony and Burrows make you pay right there.
Man, Burrows has really shown up tonight, as he has all year long. He's a really good player.
And he's so tall there, it looks like he's just stepping over defenders.
But
pardon me.
He's competing is what he's doing.
Yeah, he's showing something.
Maya will try to make it 25-0 here with the PAT. And the Leopards with the lead, 25-0. Closing in on a region championship here. They lead the Toros on UTV 44. Jim Cox, Dan Brennan, Vic Lockett, Tara Reeves on the sideline. Brian Anderson, our statistician. Jared Kihas in the truck here on our U of A Early College UTV 44 high school football game of the week from Leopard Stadium in Blount, with a home team on top 25-0. And if Blount wins here tonight, wins out in region play, which we would certainly expect them to do, they will be region champions and stop a 4-year run on the Toros as they pitch it back to Langan. Holloway on the kick, and Holloway trying to get up the near side, and he is. He's across the 40. He's got to get around the kicker, and he lost his footing.
Nice job, 99, to represent.
Yep. Chased after him, made him change directions, and he slipped down, and it'll look like a beautiful tackle on the score sheet, right, Vic?
It will. Yeah, it looks like he was in the clear right here. They had some angles on him, but I thought he was going to outrun it, but 99 slows him down right there. Ooh, he did get his ankle caught up under him there.
I think he's okay. And there's Logan Morgan. His guy's now trying to figure out, how do we punch something in here at the 35?
And best field position they probably have had all night, isn't it, Jim?
Starting for sure. And now Rhett Files stays in at quarterback. Files fakes the handoff and rolls out to the right, looking. Throws it right to the hands of the defender, intercepted. And that is going to be Williams across the 40, and Williams all the way the other way. Cortland Williams, number 5 on the year.
Yeah, it looks like Blount has got complete control of this football game now that they're getting their defense involved here.
Yeah, and again, you've got a quarterback who's got a pretty good arm, but guess what? When he's getting pressured like this right in his face and he's trying to get outside and can't, there you go. There's your mistake.
And throwing it against your body. Now, looked like it was I guess it wasn't a flag down there. I thought
Blount just has been forcing the Spanish Fort offense to do a little too much.
Yeah, 4 turnovers by the Toros here tonight. Tony, middle of the field, and that one incomplete off of Burrow's hands. Well, it looks like a winning streak of 19 straight on the road here within the region for the Toros.
Can I give it a guess?
Yeah.
How about Viger?
It's not Viger. They lost to Viger at home and then in the playoffs as well. Dick Lockett, I guess.
Blount.
There you go.
St. Paul's. More than 5 years ago since the team lost on the road in the region.
I guess that's the game I was talking about.
30-0.
That was the game they were depleted.
Flag behind the play is Thomas and Donadio Madison.
Ben Blackman was the coach of Gulf Shores. The week before, they played Gulf Shores. There were a lot of penalties at the end of that game, and they were depleted of a number of key players, and that's how they walked into St. Paul's way undermanned.
That's right, and that was Coach Jimmy Perry.
Yep.
Was still there at St. Paul's. St. Paul's won the championship that year?
I think Jimmy got one.
Yeah.
He used to sit me down and try to just drill the nuances of football into my head, and after a while he'd just say, "You're not that bright, are you, son?" I'm trying.
I don't think that's the case. That he actually sat down with you. That's what I mean. Tony throws it to the near side and behind the intended receiver. And
they weren't on the same page there in terms of the route because it was open. He had his choice, 2 or 3 receivers. That alignment by Spanish Fort shocking him. Did not adjust to the trips. Motion man.
3rd and 20 for the Leopards. Collins Woods will screen to the near side and up to the 41-yard line.
Good job by Spanish Fort getting 11 people to the football.
Boy, you know, that really said something on that play right there. Talked about the culture of the team, you know, where you're not just a collection of players. I think you saw it right there with Spanish Fort. They're down 25-0. They're not going to win this game. But what you did see was all that pursuit to the football in a play where maybe some teams are just kind of like, yeah, somebody else will get them.
Yeah. No, that's the basics of defense. You know, that's what some of the things you got to start out with day one that they've got to understand. Get in the picture or you're not playing.
Now we see Logan Morgan back to receive the punt from Cass. Just the 2nd time tonight. Blount will punt. Good high kick. Logan Morgan has no choice but a fair catch. Now he fumbles the ball, and it's recovered by the Toros. And that kind of night for the Toros.
You guys said they needed to do big on special teams. They definitely have not done it. Huge mistakes.
John Sharp, a good job to follow on that. We want to thank presenting sponsor U of A Early College. Also, Mobile and Baldwin County Sheriff's Office and Drug Education Council and GoBuildAlabama.com. Friends at Pepsi bringing a halftime show every week as well. Toros will come back out. Boy, getting some interesting scores here. This is Drew Fairhope comes from behind to beat Baker 30-21. First win.
Ouch.
For Fairhope this year. And
didn't see that coming.
Road loss for Baker and Barry to the 38-yard line.
He's padding his stats for sure. He's got at least 6 catches tonight.
Yep.
Daphne 50-3, beating BC Rain right now at Daphne. Slow start.
Towel on that one yet?
BC Rain came into that game feeling pretty good about themselves.
2-1 in region play.
Yeah.
Boy, Daphne after the 0-2 start. Kenny King's got him going in the right direction. Jalen Wayne hasn't had a lot of touches here tonight. He dances out to the 42-yard line. UMS 56-0 over Faith. Trying to get update up in Jackson. Right now 28-21. St. Paul's leads Jackson in the 4th quarter.
Wow.
Davidson 37-12 over Mary G out in Sims.
Had a great year under Fred Riley.
Yep. Of course, Murphy with the win last night over Foley.
You know, no way did I see Fairhope winning that game against Baker. And I really didn't see Foley coming in and making it that close against Murphy.
And having a chance to win it.
Credit.
Yeah, at the end of the game there. Clark County beats Cottage Hill. Liger leads Williams.
Dead ball, false start, offense. 5-yard penalty, replay, 2nd down.
Liger leads Williamson 26-20 in the 4th quarter. McGill 55-7 over Bryant. Mobile Christian beat Flomaton tonight 29-0. Saraland 42-7 over Gulf Shores. 2nd and 10. Files has a little bit of time. Heaves it down the far sideline looking for Wayne, and it's broken up, and pass interference going to be whistled against the Blount Leopards. Cortland Williams has got the 2 INTs tonight. Kadarius Tony.
DB
back there.
tried to go through the back of the receiver. Not the way you want to get to the ball.
Seen Jacoby Davis out there much in the 2nd half.
That's a 15-yard penalty from the previous spot, and replay, and the measurement is a first down. First down.
So I wonder if that's not why more than anything else Kadarius Tony is out there at safety.
Yeah, right.
approach the halfway mark of the fourth quarter. Files, right side.
I'm sure Lev's got the right answer, but at some point I will ask him about the necessity of taking your
safety out.
Star quarterback,
putting him on defense,
putting him at safety in a game that pretty much in hand.
Yeah, they're comfortably in control. But knowing Kadarius, he just wants to be out there.
Yep, I agree with that.
Fun.
He's playing single safety deep.
I see Jacoby Davis at the far end of the Blount sideline with his helmet in his hand. And now Brett Files wants to go up top into double coverage. Tipped away. Great play.
Guess who? That's why he's out there.
And covering some ground from the middle of the field over.
Yeah. He started in center field and tapped that away at the right field foul pole.
3rd and 8. Coming here for the Toros.
There you see 4 deep in your screen. He's a star quarterback of the Leopards. Get a little time at safety.
When they roll it over, he's back in center field.
Tipped at the line of scrimmage and incomplete. He's a Florida commit at this point. And I don't mean that like casting. I'm just saying it right now. He's committed to Florida.
Yeah, you're saying it right.
Yeah, you are.
We may flip it.
Well, there's just so much that goes on. And
it's a lot of time.
Talking to a lot of coaches, there's a lot. Commit means this, or what exactly does an offer means? You know, there's a hard offer. There's an offer because they offer, you know, they throw them out there and see what lands, and then at the end you see some heartbreak.
4th and 8. Toros go for it here. Rhett Files, middle, fires it behind Logan Morgan, incomplete. And the Leopards defense will take over.
And by the way, I don't mean that in terms of that could happen to Tony, but just talking to coaches in general, it's really a gray area. And you just don't know. And there probably are going to be some teams that come out of nowhere that talk to Tony and say, what are you going to be at Florida? What do they really want from you? Because we want you to be a quarterback.
Take a timeout. 5:16 to go. The Leopards offense will be the one that takes over after defense makes the stop again.
Really?
5:16 left here, and Blount will take back over. Hey, how about the big win for the St. Paul Saints in Jackson tonight?
Coach Bass,
28-21. They knock off the Aggies up in Jackson. Boy, those two have quickly become a rival. A couple of coaching guys there. Coach Powell. And
well, you got the City Slickers from Mobile, and if your nickname is the Aggies, you're out there somewhere.
Up the middle, Trajan Pugh now to the 38-yard line, and at some point you would have to think this Spanish Fort defense has got to be running on fumes. They have been on the field a lot tonight.
And it's the same guys. They have not substituted a bunch, and one's going to make them work for it.
Tony with the give to Trajan Pugh on first down at the 36.
Coach Hawley, you know, doesn't look like he's trying to pour it on. He's just running the football.
Yep.
Let the clock tick, tick, tick on out of here.
Yeah, he's got a lot of regard for that group on the other side, and how couldn't he? Just a glance at the recent record books, and you figure out Spanish Fort's pretty special.
Trajan Pugh, big pressure there from Zach Miller, and Miller, boy, he just fought all the way through that play, slowed it down, then finished it off and made the tackle.
At the timeout we were talking about again, the culture of a team and the culture of a program, and that's what you get with this team. Very impressive. And there's a young guy that Ben was telling us. I really think there's some teams who's got such great grades. He could really play at a Cornell, a Lehigh, a place up east, and he's got the grades.
Third and 9, under 4 minutes to go. Tony looks to the left side, wanted to go up top, and there's contact, and it looked like the official was going to grab the flag, and then didn't.
Yeah, he knocked him off of his route for certain.
Mike Miller and
fans urging for the flag, certainly on the Leopard sideline.
They'd be urging it a lot more if it was 25-22.
curious to see, it'd be really fun to see these teams meet up again in the playoffs. We'd love to see it because Spanish Fort, they've had so much turmoil at quarterback with Wyatt Wilkinson getting injured in the first week and different, Logan Morgan coming in playing, Rhett Files coming in. We saw Trey Berry take a few snaps. They've also got, another quarterback, John Samsel in there. Where will this team be when week 10 comes around, week 11 and into the playoffs? Because they're going to be there some form or fashion, the Toros.
Yeah, but Vic, see if you agree with this. I mean, what we just saw, regardless of the quarterback play, it just doesn't look like a good matchup for Spanish Fort's offense.
Yeah, it's just too many athletes all over the place, and, and they're explosive, They've just got to match it and, be where they normally are. They usually play really good defense, but tonight we just seem to lack because of the variance in defense.
So
athletes.
Yeah, here's what Daphne has, Blount has coming up after Spanish Fort. They're home against LaFleur. Then a game that suddenly a few weeks ago didn't look all that interesting on the schedule. Now you've got Blount and Daphne. And Daphne with just one loss in the region, that coming to Spanish Fort. And then against Gulf Shores, then Blount, they're just jamming. They're playing 10 straight and taking a week off before the playoffs start.
Yeah, and the Trojans are definitely trending up right now.
Yep.
And I hear they play pretty good defense.
Holding BC Rain to 3 tonight.
Well, we saw them earlier in the year.
I missed that one.
Okay.
That was Vic's suspension.
Were you in Vegas too?
Now, Cass on to punt, and he just quickly gets it off. The Toros didn't even have anyone back to receive. Going to be down at the 7 with 3:39 to go. More of our friends who bring us the University of Alabama early college game each week. Advanced Collision. Careers, 100 years. Here for good, right, Vic Lockett?
That's right here in Pritchard. Love them.
And the Alabama Secretary of State could not have first downs in the second half of games on Friday nights in high school football without the Alabama Secretary of State. Very important.
Things have gotten very political around here.
He drops the gavel and will prove it, huh?
So the Toros backed up all the way to their own 6. Holden Wilson gets up to about the 10.
And it looks like Coach Blackman's content to get on out of here.
So here's what Spanish Fort has: a non-region game next week. Both their non-region games, 7A opponents. They take on Foley. And they've got Saraland. That game's been moved to a Thursday night game. That'll be on ESPN. And then at BC Rain and at LaFleur to close out the season. So we are quickly past the halfway point and now moving toward October, and things will start to get much clearer, start to see some separation between teams.
Yeah. We'll get some October weather on the final day of, we're now just a couple of hours away from October, but the October weather rolled in a day or so early. We like it.
Inside 3 minutes here. Back-to-back weeks we've been up here at Blount. It's really a nice stadium.
Very good accommodations here in the box.
Files rolling out. Vic Lockett already awarding the best air conditioner in the press box award to Leopard Stadium.
Yeah, on the night we didn't need it.
Well, last week we did need it, and it was very comfortable.
Yeah, well, some of us in the booth needed it more than others, Vic, because Morris and I were freezing last week, and you were still.
I was loving it,
cranking it down.
By the way, thank you to QB Country's David Morris for filling in for Vic a few weeks back, and then for me last week. I know he did a great job.
Great guy. Really enjoyed getting to know him more this year. Files fires it up the far sideline, and Jalen Wayne there. Make the catch. Yeah, he brings an interesting perspective, and Ben Thomas, I don't know if you saw the story on AL.com he did about QB Country this week, and David Morris and all the coaches just talking about how it can be a very slippery slope if you don't have the right guy in charge of a program like that who is just trying to teach how to play quarterback. But always, the coach, David was even quoted in saying there, hey, whatever your coach says to do, that's what you do.
Yep.
We're just trying to work on some advanced quarterback things. And if he was not respected by the coaches like that, he wouldn't be having the success that he's having right now. Pressure coming, and Files will be hitting. The ball comes loose. And the Leopards have it again. 5th turnover tonight.
Wow.
Well, Red Files, you can't put that one on the quarterback. Just coming off the edge and blistered from the outside. And Keelan Kennedy is there. And the ball is recovered by Charles Mickles with 1:47 to go. And we talked about Kennedy, how he looks like a Blount linebacker from years gone by.
Yeah.
He did there, too.
Yes, he did. But, you know, Spanish Fort, you know, we can talk about the variance in athletes and the difference. Tonight, I've seen him have so many miscues. I've never seen him make this many. I mean, you tell me, Dan. You've been watching.
I agree. I do think that some of Blount's quickness has played a role in that.
No doubt. But their concentration definitely was lacking from snap one.
Trajan Pugh. I think one thing. Yeah, and I think also we see some, Blount coaching staff evolving into Lev Holly schematically. Is look at that spin move by Kadarius Toney, and he'll get a touchdown. There's a flag at the end.
That ain't, he's just having too much fun.
That's like when you mash the button down playing Madden.
Yeah,
spins. Yeah. Oh, it's gonna wipe it out a holding.
We still got the highlight.
Yeah, it still happened.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it was going full speed.
I'll be honest with both of you. I missed it. I was following the running back.
See if Jared will rack it up.
He was blocking the back on the offense. That's a 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Replay 2nd down.
There we go.
Well, ISO on Kadarius Toney. Oh, right here. Oh, yeah. That's just not fair.
And Dan still really didn't see it. It was so quick.
I missed it again.
Yeah.
And the camera was only on him.
Back to the 14 now. Toney holds it down, and this time he'll get sacked. The ball's going to be loose, still loose. And the Toros and Leopards finally able to fall on it. Big Lacey.
Yeah, Lacey.
6'3", 295. You try to go down, it's a
flat ball now. They'll need a new ball. Ball boys there.
Another deflate gate.
And the Leopards going backwards here. That was the first time they really had got a big lick on Kadarius Toney in the pocket.
2nd and goal from the...
Forever. They'll have to snap it one more time. And 3rd down, they could just take a knee and let the clock run out. And I think that's probably what the Leopards will be more than happy to do here.
Safe thing, don't get anybody injured clowning around.
That clock's rolling now, so
they got to snap it one time. But no, they're just going to take the delay.
I thought that's what the plan was. Take the delay, rack it up for 4th down, and show some sportsmanship and go shake hands. Coach Levy, take a look at him there. Proud, hard-working man. And does it the right way.
I think really probably more proud the way his team came out and responded.
After last week's.
Because he said, and told Tara at the halftime, he said, I was more frustrated with the effort that I saw last week. And
yep, he was.
Now he's got...
Well, I love what's going on at midfield, too.
Yeah, definitely like the sportsmanship between the teams.
These teams know each other very, very well. And you don't always say that about teams from either, opposite sides of the bay.
So it's the first time that Blount has ever beaten Spanish Fort in school history.
Well, Spanish Fort doesn't lose hardly ever anyway. What was that record you shot up there for Blackman? I mean, incredible.
It's the 2nd loss for Ben Blackman.
If you read it in a book, you would think it was fiction.
Toros drop their first region game here tonight, and let's go down to Tara. She's at midfield. Tara.
Thanks, Jim. Coach, first off, how did that Gatorade bath feel?
It's a little cold. I'm already dealing with a sinus infection, but it's all right. I'll take it for my team.
And I ask you what you expected out of this young man right here, Kadarius. You said that he had to be poised in order to lead his team tonight. Talk about the way he carried his team.
They did a great job. We challenged them all week, to be able to look at that look at that adversity. You know what I mean? Do it with character and do it with humility. And they came out and they responded, so I couldn't be more proud of my team and my assistant coaches. They get this win. And that's a great team right there. You know, Coach Blackman's a friend of mine. But those guys will go back there and rebound, but they're going to be fine down the stretch.
And last year, you guys lost this game on a last-second field goal. How does it feel to win right here at home in front of your fans with an impressive 25-0 victory?
I couldn't be prouder. You know, we got the best fans in the nation. So, you know, this win for all of them. You know, and for the main thing, you know, you look at, you know, where we're going. You know, we knew if we can come in and beat this team, we was going to have a chance, you know, to win the region. So everything is in play. You know, so I'm just glad we can come out and get the win.
All right. Thanks, Coach, and congratulations.
I like Lev, too, saying that it's not just the best fans in 6A, Mobile County, Baldwin County, Alabama. It's the nation.
United States.
Yeah. He's proud of his fans here tonight, and he talked about how important the fans were here and part of the community to make this really be something that grows into what kind of bringing the pride back to the Blount Leopards, you know, what they certainly have here in the 5 state titles that they had, and of course had the great runs here with Ben Harris and the golden years of Blount Leopard football. And the win here tonight, 25-0, so they remain perfect in the region now, 5-0. And I think as Lev said, this is a big week, big challenge. And last week he also mentioned, Vic, that said, not just the players, my assistant coaches, I'm going to challenge them to be better this week. And across the board, a different team than we saw last week.
Yeah, you got to give it to them. You know, it was a complete collective victory for this Blount Leopard team. I mean, the coaches, players, they all came back. They got punched in the mouth last week. They got off the mat, Dan. You missed it. But you saw the results here tonight.
It was on the big screen in Vegas.
Okay.
Actually, you know, some people are just born leaders, and I think Blount is very fortunate that the guy that runs their program, without a question in my mind, absolute born leader.
Yep, and I think on the other side, I think Coach Lev Holly also said it too. You know, the Toros, it's just one loss. They'll be back, one loss in the region.
You know, late in the season, they'll be as good as they can be.
Yep, no question about it, and they'll continue to grow. Player of the game nominations, LeBaron Jones, Kadarius Toney, and Cortland Williams, all from the Leopards. Williams with the 2 picks here tonight defensively. And go to local15tv.com and click on the high school football game of the week to vote for your player of the week. And we'll tell you about it at halftime next week here on UTV 44. So again, our final score, the Leopards 25-0 winners over Spanish Fort. They take control of Region 1. They got a big matchup coming up in a couple of weeks with the Daphne Trojans on the road. So for Vic Lockett, Dan Brennan, Tara Reeves in the sideline, Jared Keyhouse in our truck, and all of our crew here tonight at 8 Mile, good night, where the Leopards get the big win over their rivals, and they'll bounce back to being probably number 1 in 6A when the polls come out next week.